Hey everybody, Weem here, and welcome to Medieval Engineers. We just had our world saved, apparently. The game does hang a little bit for me when it saves, just briefly. Seem to recall that was Space Engineers as well. So anyway, for those of you familiar with Space Engineers, you'll probably be pretty familiar with this game. You may have already checked this out. Now I did make something over yonder, beyond the hill. I'm going to show you guys that a little bit later. All I'm hoping to do in this video is kind of show you a bit about the game, kind of introduce it to you for those of you who haven't checked it out before. And maybe pose a couple questions to you about potential future videos. So, Medieval Engineers, right now there's not a ton to do beyond the building. You can kind of build things out, walls, obviously we've got blocks like this, walls, roofs, you know, there's furniture, things like that, all kinds of different things. I'm just going to start placing stuff down, by the way. In fact, I'm going to jump into this fly mode a bit. But yeah, the potential for this game is really cool because they have basically like siege equipment. They have this physics stuff built in right now where you can destroy walls and yeah, the idea of doing that kind of stuff against other players is very cool. But it's very cool to me. But additionally, you guys know me, I like to build things. I like to make things. So I've been playing around with it a bit tonight and have been very excited by how it's gone. It's very cool. So let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make kind of a basic house really quick and just kind of give you guys the gist, like I said. So I've got all the blocks along the bottom. I actually hit G and bring up a lot of different other kinds of materials in here. So let's go ahead and bring in some kind of wood window and a wood wall. We'll probably end up playing with these corners a bit. Let's do that. Something like that. And yeah, maybe we'll leave it at that. What do we have here? A 4x4 cube. So one of the cool things about this, about the way they handle the building is corners are often very difficult. You can see we got a block here and I've got my wall up at this front portion, and typically, as you'll see, it's not going to want to let me do another one. You know, if I wanted to angle it like this, you can see now that it's actually melded in there. And let me hit this button. Normally this is what you would get, right? I can't combine these, but they actually have this mode you can kind of snap into and it will merge these. I think they call it a compound mode or something like that. Something like that. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make corners like that. But that's one of the features I really like about the building in this game. They give you a lot of control over everything. It's very easy to build in this game, but that's kind of, you know, typically a hang-up in a lot of games. Lantern Forge is a game I can think of that they had something built where that you could kind of do corners, but it was very difficult to get to work right. At least for me. Who knows though? Maybe I was missing something. But you guys know, in a lot of these building games, when it comes down to the corners, that can be very difficult. Or they give you like a corner piece, and that's what you're stuck using. So this kind of compound mode, I think that's what it was called, is very cool. I definitely dig that. Now you can see it's automatically wanting to go kind of one layer above out here, which is cool. But I want to go into these kind of normal walls. And let's get some of these guys in here. Something like this. I think we'll do windows otherwise here. And this is a little odd. I should have done it maybe 5 wide so I could have centered the door, but you know what? Not everything has to be perfect, Weem. We've been trying to break ourselves of needing everything to be perfectly symmetrical. I'm trying to wean myself off of that. I'm trying to wean myself off? Yeah, no. Oh, where am I going with this? Okay, so there we go. We've got kind of the base for a house down here. Very, very cool. Now, one of the cool things about this is that all the physics stuff is in, and we could break this down. If we actually stacked things too high, they would crumble. We've got a mode we can jump into here and see the structural integrity. So you can see that things are looking pretty good right now. We can actually fly up here and see that we're in pretty good shape. So let's see. Let's turn that off really quick. And I am going to want to do like a second floor on here. So let's kind of do this around the edges, I think, to start. Something like this. I kind of like the loft idea too. So let's consider doing that. So there we go. We've kind of got this opening. And I think it's going to be... maybe we need a little bit more room up there. Okay, let's grab some stairs. So again, we've got all kinds of items down here. Now, one of the things I'm not really going to get into yet, because I actually haven't experimented with it, is some of these things like rope drums, turning wheels. So you can actually make a lot of automated things. It's pretty cool. Things you can interact with and move and everything. But like I said, I haven't got into that. I'm jumping into this a little earlier than I typically have been. Typically, I like to get in and really kind of get a good feel before I'm bringing it to you guys. But I thought I would just kind of bring you in this case where I'm kind of jumping in and learning it. Just because I'm kind of limited on time this weekend. So let's see, what was I thinking? I wanted the stairs. That's what I wanted. Let's grab these stairs. Now, I mentioned having a question for you guys. I wanted to pose a couple questions, especially about potential series in the future for this. Kind of looking for you guys' feedback on whether you'd want to see me do some more of this. Now, like I said, there's just building right now. There are these barbarian NPCs you can throw in, but they don't they're not working very well, but I think they were just added. So one thing to note, of course, is that as many games we play are, this one is in a early access right now. So obviously they're constantly working on it, adding new things, fixing things, and the barbarians, I believe, were just put in. So they basically come into the game. You can kind of spawn them just like you spawn any other item here, and they just kind of run around a bit, yelling, and sometimes punching walls with their maces. So anyway, I kind of played around with them tonight a little bit, but yeah, let's see. We've got this in here. That's pretty good. I'm gonna look at some railings. So yeah, I've got an idea to kind of maybe make some kind of cool castle, and you know, up in the mountains somewhere. Maybe a couple other buildings to go along with it. I could take your guys' feedback on that. You know, about what types of buildings you think might be cool, similar to what we've been doing with Rising World. So I'm hoping to get some feedback from you guys. You can let me know what you think about that. Let's see. Sometimes I get this, the railing gets a little bit wonky. I'm trying to like put this in here. In some places it'll work, other places it won't. Right now it's being fidgety on me. Well, that's okay. We don't necessarily need it. We'll be safe, right? We're not going to walk off any edges. So I was doing these stone corners here. I think we're going to kind of carry that through. Let's see here. Get these in. So yeah, if you guys have checked out this game, if you've been playing it, let me know what you've been building, what you have been enjoying about the game so far. I'm pretty excited. I kind of jumped into this thinking, okay, I know Space Engineers, you know, the freedom to build things is pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things you can do there. I've enjoyed playing Space Engineers multiplayer with friends, just kind of hanging out, doing the whole conveyor system with the storage and everything has been pretty sweet. And so I thought, okay, this is, you know, going to be very similar, but there's something about being here on the world, being able to this easily build structures like this is very cool. I love the idea of making like an inn, you know, some kind of tavern, you know, next to some kind of tower, and just kind of fleshing out like a small town or fortress or something like that. But fantasy is kind of my genre of choice. You know, it's kind of what I really get into, so this is perfect for me. I'm loving this. Let's see. So we've got pretty much the second floor where I want it. Now, I could put wood ceiling on here, kind of like I've done with the floor, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to just do a typical kind of angled roof here. Let's see. Let's go with 2. And turn that off here. Rotate this guy a bit. And let's see. Let's get up here. Why are you not wanting to go there? I want you right there. We go. That's what I wanted. Rotate this guy. So these will be the ends, essentially, the front and the back. And then we take this angled piece here. And get rotating with it. So some of this you have to spin around a couple times and do some rotations with these, but I think, let's see, is it Y? No, it's R. R for that. There we go. Let's get up here with this piece. You can see this is quite easy to get going. It's very cool. Very easy to pick up on. I thought, well, it's going to take me a while to get used to the controls. But no, that was not the case. So there we go. We've got the angles here. Now I'm going to actually bring this guy up here so we can see the structural integrity. Very cool. We were looking pretty good. Now once we get the roof on here, I was making a roof experimenting at one point, and it kind of collapsed on me. It was not cool. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more cautious this time. I'm almost thinking about doing some kind of center beam in here. So let's get the stone column in here. I don't think there's actually a wood column. I looked for that at one point. Let's see. So I could put this in the middle. Now it won't go exactly in the middle because we have 2 cubes here, and it's got to, you know, be inside of one of those. So it won't be exactly right. Now we could do 2 of them. I could rotate this, for example. There you go. Do that. Yeah, let's do that. And then we'll check the integrity of this. Let's see. Pretty good. Cool. Let's go ahead and grab... Now we've got a couple. We have a hay roof and a wood roof. I'm kind of like the idea of doing a hay roof, so let's give that a shot. And we'll kind of do this in portions too, because I want to see how the structural integrity plays out. Oops, I didn't want you to go there. No, no. Oh no! No! There goes my floor! Crap. Well, that didn't last long. When you delete some pieces like that, some very integral pieces to the structure, it will collapse. So anyway, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Let's see if we can kind of salvage this a little bit. Good one, Weem. Let's see if I can get in here. I just totally destroyed the floor. So this is one of the things about the game too. If you hadn't seen these, the videos were going around a while ago showing the destruction, how things crumble, and so you're kind of seeing that there, the pieces crumble down. Now I actually turned off a setting so that the debris only does a certain number of them for each thing that's broken, because otherwise it really piles up and gets in the way. But anyway, I don't think this is going to hold together for very well. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece in. Let's check the structural integrity at this point. Surprisingly not bad. Now, you do see things. I have noticed this before. We've got the column. Before it was actually floating. It had no beams underneath. So there's a little bit of work to be done there. But again, it's early access. Very early. So that kind of stuff is to be expected. There we go. I just dropped another one. Now, if I delete right here, I think it will take out the floor and we'll have more problems. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. We're going to leave that piece in there. So it's kind of cool. You can see the stress down here on these pieces right here. We got a gap missing here, full width of the roof, so these pieces are supporting quite a bit. The stone is holding up a little bit better than the wood there. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and try this up here. Okay, not bad. No one look inside the house. There's nothing to see there. Coming along pretty good. I'm surprised it's holding up as well as it is. Let's go ahead and I meant to rotate that, not turn on the mode. Bring this over here. You're screwing it up, Weem. Come on. Try to delete that. No. No. There. No. There we go. Wait, why isn't it going away? You go away. There we go. We're going to get this done eventually. Alright, there we go. So we're missing a little bit. It's barely intact. Let's actually drop on the ground and kind of run in here really quick. Let's see just how bad this looks from the ground. There we go. One big beam. It looks like there was a fire in here, maybe. Yeah, that's what I was going for. The realistic look. We had some kind of fire, maybe in the kitchen in the back of this place, kind of burned it up. But there you go. As broken up and barely together as it is, I think you get the idea. We're going to ignore the little roof bit there, but there you go. There's your quick example of building a structure here in Medieval Engineers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something that I've made just over the hill. So let's get flying over there. Pretty cool little thing. And then we will bust it up. We may even come back here and break this thing up. So anyway, while I fly over here, yeah, like I said, I wanted to kind of see what you guys thought about the game. If you wanted to see me do some more of this, maybe build, you know, some kind of castle or fort, maybe up on a hill or something. When I was doing experimenting earlier, it was just at the top of the hill over there. So anyway, let me know what you think about that, if that's something you would be into watching or not. So here we go. This is what I call my floating temple. Pretty cool, right? This was very easy to make. Again, this game just makes it really easy to build stuff. So basically, you've got this element here. Let's see, where is it? I think it is... I'm going to have to click through everything, aren't I? So we have the sphere there. So with the sphere, we can actually put down grass chunks, and that includes just up here in the middle of the air, and that doesn't actually have a structural integrity at all. So I basically floated around and made an island here. Just chunk of ground floating in the air, and then on top of that laid down a foundation, and then I built up from there, and you can see we've got a statue in there. I even brought in the grass right up the middle through the floor. I left an open hole and kind of built it up, put some stone around it to make it look almost like it's a burial ground, and brought this statue in. So anyway, I think this turned out really cool. I was really afraid to go any higher with the roof because the structural integrity of this was, well, it was probably getting close to not working out very well. You can see we've got a lot of yellow there, and if I really start throwing more weight on, I thought just one little thing would send this crumbling. You can see we even have some orange over here, so yeah, I was a little too scared to do anything more than that. But I think we could actually go ahead and do that right now. Let's do that. We're going to go ahead and test this out. We're going to break this thing. Let's see. We're just going to go ahead and turn that mode off. So we're going to start light here. I'm just going to pile up on the columns here. Oh, we lost a piece. We're losing some over there. Let's go ahead and check this out. Oh, it is not in good shape. Let's see how this stuff goes. Now the other one is kind of breaking down. Are we losing all of it? We might be. Oh, there we go. Big chunk. Look at this one flying down here. Very cool. Now you'll see it bust up and everything disappear, but typically that'll break down and all of the pieces will be there. And you can collide with those. You can actually run around and run into them and push them around and everything. But there you go. There's an example. Oh, there we go. Statue goes down too. There's an example of what it's like to lose everything. One of the cool things they provide you with is the kind of shot pieces here, projectiles they say. So it's kind of like cannon. If we bring the 10 and it's 10 times the mass, so we can actually click once and you'll just see it fall or kind of tap, but you can hold and really fire it at high velocity and bust things up. So those of you who have seen the video, the various trailers and everything around, or watched other people's videos at this point, have probably seen this. But very, very cool, very fun to kind of bust this up and see how everything reacts. So let's go ahead. You can see I was doing some experimenting over here. I had a tower that I collapsed and was throwing up some ground. But let's just fly over here really quick and finish the job. Take down our house over here. There it is. It is cool looking despite being busted up. But let's go ahead and finish the job. I think we'll go ahead and start on a corner here. Smack that. There we go. Roof is still intact. Let's take out the middle column. There we go. There, and so you can see it's kind of suspended there. I don't know if that's because it's connected. Although I don't think it was connected before, but there we go. Roof starts to come down. Anyway, I think we'll leave it at that. Like I said, I wanted to give you a quick look at Medieval Engineers as I am learning right now, tonight, as I'm playing around. I just thought I would bring you in here, show you guys this, and like I said, ask you guys if you want to see more of this. I'm very interested, so please do leave me a comment if you'd like to see more. You can also leave a like on the video. That's a good indication that you'd like to see more, and I certainly appreciate that. Anyway, I think, like I said, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.